Hey everybody, welcome into this very special preview podcast for the patron-only ear training series that we're going to start releasing every month here on the 10-Minute Jazz Lesson podcast. I wanted to give you guys an idea of what everybody's going to get with this and how much it is going to help your ears as a musician. And hopefully if you are not signed up for Patreon, this might be the thing that kind of pushes you over into how many benefits you're going to get from that particular thing. So let's talk about ears for a second. You need to have solid ears to be a good jazz musician. There's really just no way around it. You know, sometimes I actually wish that there was because it would save me a lot of time. And ear training is not something that I am naturally inclined to do. I had to work really, really hard to get my ears to the point where they are now. And along every step of the way, I noticed a large jump in my ability to play the saxophone. The more that I studied ear training and did more complicated exercises and really worked on this stuff. So it's essential. You know, every music school in the country, probably in the world, has ear training courses. So that tells you something. Your ears are really something that you need to work on in order to get to where you want to be as a musician at the end of the day, especially in jazz, because jazz is an ear-forward music. If you can figure things out by ear, you're going to get a heck of a lot further than if you couldn't. Now, ear training is also an essential skill if you're a classical musician, but the advantage that classical musicians have is most of their information is written down, right? So they're reading off of a page. That is not true in the jazz world. If you've been gigging for any period of time or been a jazz musician for any period of time, you know just how much you're kind of on your own and have to figure things out by ear. So this is my long-winded way of telling you that this is just an essential skill. So what we're going to do is we're going to put out a series of podcasts that include sort of a lesson on what we're trying to accomplish that month, and then drills. And the drills are the most important part here. The drills are going to be the thing that you can come back to again and again and again and get these sounds into your ears, get these sounds happening, start to connect the dots between your ears and your instruments, develop your voice a little bit to be able to sing pitches accurately and recreate things with your built-in instrument, which is your voice. So that's how I'm going to structure these. So this particular first month, and we're going to dive into some clips from the actual podcast that you're going to be getting, that the patrons are going to be getting this month. This particular month is going to be all about intervals, diatonic intervals. So intervals that are found in the major scale. We're going to kind of start from square one here. And if you've already done a little bit of ear training, this is still going to be beneficial for you to go back, review the basics, make sure you have everything down before we go on to much, much, much more complicated material in months to come. So what I have recorded first is an introduction to all of the diatonic intervals. And what we do is we talk about examples from well-known songs that are going to help you identify and be able to recreate some of these diatonic intervals. So let's dive into a little clip of the introductory podcast before you get to the drills. And this is talking about some of the most common, well-known songs that we can associate with certain intervals of the major scale to help you identify them better. So here's an excerpt from that initial podcast. All right, let's move to a major third. So a major third is a really satisfying kind of sound, right? And again, most of us will be able to identify this, but if you can't, the song that I like to use for this is When the Saints Go Marching In. The first two notes of When the Saints Go Marching In. That's a song that most of us can, really remember from childhood. Perfect fourth, a lot of you are familiar with this one. These are the first two notes for Here Comes the Bride, and that's another one that can really be useful to hear. All right, so there it is through the perfect fourth. Now let's move on to the perfect fifth, another really easy tune to hear. I use Twinkle Twinkle Little Star for a perfect fifth. All right, let's move on to major sixth. This is one from back in the days of watching TV when we were a lot younger. I don't know how many of us watch TV anymore, but this one is the theme from NBC. Those first two notes of that iconic theme give you this. There you go. That's your major sixth. Major seventh is one that's a little bit kind of tricky. So you can hear what we're doing is we're going through every single diatonic interval and giving you an example. You could write these down, you can memorize them, and as we go through the drill podcasts, you can always come back to these references and really make sense of the interval that I'm asking you to either identify or sing. We're going to do both of those things because both of those things are crucial to mastery of these intervals. All right, now let's check out a couple of excerpts from the drill podcasts. So the first one is going to be, well, the first two really are going to be interval identification podcasts, and we're going to work on ascending and descending. Both of those are really, really important, and we have to be able to hear notes and intervals going up and going down. So here's a short excerpt of how we're going to drill the ascending diatonic intervals into your ears. All right, let's dive in. I'm going to play it twice. You tell me what it is. Major second. Perfect fifth. Major third. So you can hear that's really where the benefit is going to come from when it comes to these episodes, those drill podcasts. They're completely random. I start out with them in order, and then we go completely random all over the scale, all the different intervals. Those are about 6 or 7 minute podcasts, so you get a ton of drilling. And the nice thing is, since they're so long and they are random, you can listen to them over and over and over again. And in fact, I do suggest that you do that. So we've got an ascending drill podcast, and then we have a descending interval identification drill podcast. Now, the hard part for most of you is going to be the singing podcasts. So after we get done identifying the intervals, we get pretty good at that. Now I'm going to actually have you sing them. And we've got a great way of doing this where I play the first note, I tell you the interval, and then I want you to sing the second note, and then we check it on the piano. And we're going to do this both for ascending and descending. Here's a little peek at the descending singing podcast. Major seventh. Perfect fourth. Major sixth. Major third. So you can hear this is going to be fantastic for you. We do them ascending, descending. The singing, it's something we're all scared of if we're not singers, but you have to be able to do it. And it's not about how beautiful your voice is. It's literally just about being accurate with pitches. So that's what you get. You get 5 episodes, 5 additional episodes of this ear training material this month. Now, to give you a little sneak peek of what's coming down the road, this month we're doing diatonic intervals of the major scale. Next month we're going to do the chromatic intervals. So we're going to fill in those chromatic intervals that are not present in the major scale and then quiz you on all 12 intervals up to an octave. And that's going to take you to the next level because we know that we use a lot of chromaticism when we are playing jazz, so you have to be able to hear all that stuff. And then the month after that, we're going to start to move into harmonic intervals. So that's going to be identifying 2 notes that are played together. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. So we're just going to kind of progress into actually hearing harmonic progressions, being able to sing the roots of tunes that we love. We're going to be doing so many different things, and it's going to be coming at you new and fresh every single month. Now, just a reminder, this is only $3 a month to get access to this. Plus, you get access to all of the PDFs for every single episode. So this $3 a month keeps getting more and more valuable. And we're really trying to get our Patreon community up to sort of mirror the community of students that listen to this podcast. There are so many of you out there that are tuning in week after week, and we'd love to get you all on board on Patreon. And, the more donations that we receive on Patreon, the more stuff like this we can do, because I can free up more of my time to actually work on this show. So if this is something that you are interested in, this is available right now on Patreon. You can go over there. The beauty of this is that it's audio. It's very lightweight, meaning that you can download this right onto your phone, burn a CD of these tracks. You can listen to it in the car. You can listen to it when you're on your daily walk. You can listen to it at the gym. You can listen to this just about anywhere, and it makes it really convenient for you to check in with this stuff every single day when you wouldn't be able to normally practice your instrument. You can practice ear training. So if you want to sign up for this, get instant access to these podcasts, just go over to the 10minutejazzlesson.com. That is 10minutejazzlesson.com. Click on one of the Patreon banners, get yourself signed up. You'll get instant access to this in the posts section, and you'll also get all of the PDFs from every single episode we've ever done. So I hope you guys enjoy this. This is something that I should have done a long time ago, but finally sort of getting around to it. And I hope that this benefits you a lot. I know it will. If you've got any questions, please send me an email, 10minutejazzlesson@gmail.com, if you have any questions about how these are delivered. And if you're a Patreon member already, get over there and download those shows and really start working on them. Those are available to you right now. I've already uploaded them. So hopefully this is something that will be useful to everybody out there. Let's get our skills up as good as they can possibly be. You do not need to be in music school anymore to get a fully fledged ear training class. Now you can get it on Patreon. All right, everybody, have fun with the shows, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a good one. Bye.